Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Today, Bridget Griffin shared a video of her daily yoga routine, 2 self-help articles, and her new blog called Build Your Inner Bridge with Bridge. Girl, your sharing has turned into oversharing. No worries, Bridge. Geico has some info worth sharing with your 7 blog followers, like how you could save money on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim just by visiting geico.com. How's that for building your inner bridge? Bridge? Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Blog Talk Radio.
I'm back!
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida.
The great story here is this vast right-wing conspiracy that has been conspiring against my husband since the day he announced for president.
Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com.
What difference at this point does it make?
And now, Brian Craig.
I'm back!
All right, and welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Welcome to the program, everyone. And, of course, you can listen to the Brian Craig Show. Go to my website, briancraigshow.com, and all the different mobile apps like iTunes and TuneIn Radio and everywhere else that carry the program are listed right there. And, of course, follow us on Twitter at Brian Craig Show and look for us on Facebook, facebook.com/Brian Craig Show. Okay, well, today it's Martin Luther King Day, and I went out and saw today 13 Hours, the Benghazi movie. And, you know, I got to tell you, I know what happened there. I've been hearing about it in the news for 3 years, and I did not realize how bad it was. And let me tell you, I went to a 10:50 a.m. showing, and I was shocked. I thought I was going to be in the theater alone, or maybe one other person. The theater was packed, and that's pretty amazing, you know. Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't filled with bank workers or school teachers that had the day off or federal workers. It was filled with, you know, people that wanted to go and see the movie. I couldn't believe it was packed. 13 hours. The Benghazi
And we live
movie.
in a very liberal town too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No
Folk
kids.
is very
it was
liberal.
all adults. Yeah, it was all adults. And I got to say, I watched this movie, and I was crying at the end. I was a little embarrassed because I don't know if anybody else was crying, but I didn't want to walk out crying. I was crying. It was the movie is excellent. And you were telling me that the real life guys said that the movie is spot on, but it
the John Krasinski character, the guy from the Office, the guy who played him, you know, is alive, and he's very religious, and he said it was like reliving the whole night. He said it was absolutely, completely accurate. He said it was like deja vu. It was really weird.
It was. I will say somebody mentioned something about the audience. I did look around the audience. I did not see any. Everyone I saw was white. I saw there's a lot of white people. I didn't see any people of color. You know, I don't know how many Democrats were in there, but we live in a liberal town. So, but anyway, that movie. I mean, at the end of the movie, I was tearing up, but I was so angry and disgusted at Hillary Clinton and Imam Obama. Now, first off, you know, today Donald Trump was speaking at Liberty University, and he said 2 Corinthians instead of 2 Corinthians. And I was watching a whole discussion on CNN today about how, he's the screw up. He said 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. They even had graphics. They had guests on. You know, I mean, give me a break. This incident in Benghazi, this movie, 13 Hours, should force Hillary Clinton to drop out of the race. I mean, it is. I am so disgusted. And Chris Stevens was one of them. Liberal, gay ambassador. He was friends with Hillary Clinton. He was picked for the job by Hillary and Obama. And people like me and you were more upset about Chris Stevens than his friends were, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. It is disgusting what happened there. And they didn't mention Hillary or Obama by name. But what they did, there were several waves of the attack. The first attack, I've heard about it in the news. I've seen the interviews, and I followed it pretty closely. But when you see it in a movie reenacted, you get a better perspective and visual, obviously, of what happened. So they had the first attack on the ambassador's compound. And, of course, these guys were at the CIA annex, and he had 2 guards with him. And they got hit pretty hard, and they take Ambassador Chris Stevens and they put him in the safe room, and the Muslim monsters can't get into the safe room, so they light the house on fire, and the smoke makes it into the safe room, and that's what killed him. And I remember when it was in the news, when Benghazi first happened, Kathy, they showed these Muslims carrying him to the hospital. And what they did in this movie is tell you what that was all about. They got a report at the CIA compound that Ambassador Stevens was alive at the hospital. And what they found out later is he was not alive at the hospital. They took him there, said he was alive, to try to draw out the U.S. forces to go there and rescue him and attack him again. But what they did is they attacked the ambassador's residence with a small attack, even though it killed him. And they sat back and waited for the rescue team to come in so they could hit him again. And these guys, these private contractors, they go back to the CIA compound. The fighting went on all night long. It was 13 hours, was the name of the movie. They took wave after wave of attack, and the place was filled with about 30 or so civilian CIA analysts. And throughout the movie, you see these CIA analysts calling the Pentagon and begging for help, and no help comes. And they find the nearest Air Force base where there's fighter jets, and this one CIA analyst calls and begs the general to send an F-16 just to fly over low without firing, just to scare them off, to let them know the U.S. is in the area. They won't do it. And what was so disgusting about it, Kathy, is they had a drone overhead that saw the entire attack, and Obama and the Secretary of Defense and all the rest were watching that attack as it happened for 13 hours and didn't do anything to save those guys. And even Hillary today said she's too busy to see the movie. I don't know.
She was fine. She was too busy to save their lives, so of course she's too busy to watch the damn movie. She doesn't care.
It's disgusting. Everyone should see the movie.
She's a disgusting person.
Someone in the chat said, "Do you believe the movie's accurate?" Yes, I do, and this is why.
Well, the guy who was there said it was.
Yeah, the movie was based on the book written by the guys who were there. So the movie is based on their book, and the guys that were there said the movie is spot on. So absolutely. In fact, they even talked about the youth. Yeah.
It's real because those guys did get killed, and they are dead. So obviously it really happened that way because those guys are dead.
Yeah. Liberals are a bunch of monsters. And, they made a very good point. These guys, they got hit at wave after wave. These private contractors, there were like half a dozen of them, Green Beret, ex-Navy SEAL, things like this. And they held them back. There were no casualties. And then at the end, on the last wave, the Muslims had mortars, which are rockets that shoot up in the air, and that's when the guys got killed in the compound. And when they finally got out, it still wasn't the United States. There was one private contractor got a plane from an corporate oil guy in Tripoli, flew it in, and it wasn't big enough for everyone when they finally got to the airport, but they got like 20 of them out on that. And then they got out on a Libyan plane. And in the movie, they say at the end when they're getting on the Libyan, I'm sorry, there's no spoilers here. I think everybody knows what happened. At the end of the movie, when the civilian contractors are getting on the plane. It was a Libyan plane, and they said still no Americans came to help us. And they show them throughout the movie calling the Pentagon and these other generals all over the world, begging them, please
Hillary had the nerve,
us.
even though she didn't see it, and even though she knows exactly what happened, she had the nerve when Chuck Todd asked her to say, well, I know people that have seen it, and they played it up for the drama. I mean, can you believe this bitch? Can you believe this bitch? I mean, those people are dead. She is a monster.
And
she is an absolute monster. She's a sociopath. She's a sociopath.
When she is, Hillary is exactly a sociopath, and
absolutely.
We talked about this when it happened, and it is a joke, but I don't like to make a joke about what happened, especially after seeing the movie today. But remember, in 2008, Hillary had that campaign. Who do you want to answer the phone at 3 a.m.? They were calling at 3 in the freaking afternoon, and Hillary wasn't there, and Hillary viewed the Secretary of State as a ceremonial position, as a stepping stone to get the presidential nomination. And for her to be a candidate that people are seriously talking about, putting in charge of this country after you see, listen, I understand that the president calls the shots when a situation like this happens in Benghazi, but those were Hillary's people. She could have gone to the White House. She could have gotten Obama on the phone and demanded he do something. But she didn't fight for them then, and now she's throwing him under the bus again by saying the movie's not a true depiction of what happened.
I mean, Brian, when is this woman going to get her just desserts? I mean, look at all of the people they have completely.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word is. The lives they have destroyed, and for power. I mean, and everybody knows it. When are these two going to be held accountable for what they have done? I mean, is it ever going to happen?
She's going to lose this election, and this will be her last election because she's like 69 years old, and she'll go down in history as a disgrace. And I got to tell you, calling Hillary Clinton a sociopath is spot on, Kathy, because you watch. I watched this movie today, and I was very upset. I mean, first off, you're like proud of them because these guys did that. And I remember seeing The Real Guys on 60 Minutes or something a couple years ago, and they told the story and they went through it, and it was pretty powerful. But to see it reenacted, this is more of a documentary than it is a dramatic film, And when the guys that were there say it's accurate, and the whole thing is based on their book and the eyewitness testimony. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And, Democrats and liberals are just scum. I mean, they're just scum. How could you, if our people, I mean, look at the Republicans right now. We're trying to put the Republican Party out of business by elevating Donald Trump to break the back of these traitorous Republicans, right? The Democrats should run. If Bernie Sanders really wanted to win the nomination, he would use this movie to expose Hillary Clinton. I don't see how any American could see that movie, 13 Hours, and not be disgusted at Obama and Hillary Clinton. They even talk about the YouTube video in the movie. While they're under fire because of the internet, they're hearing from friends and family back home. And one of them says, between attacks, they're saying back home on the news that there's protests and something about a video. And then one of the guys says, I didn't see any protest. And these were hardcore military tactics they were using.
Yeah.
It was they at the end, as crazy as this is, they were rescued by the Libyan army.
But I noticed they really weren't talking about it very much in the news. Like they asked her about it briefly. Even on
movie?
Fox,
No,
they mentioned it. They mentioned it briefly once here and there, but they're talking. They're giving more time to Ted Cruz in his New York comments, or to Trump saying 2 Corinthians, which I've never heard anybody say 2 Corinthians. That's a little weird to me. I mean, that's a little.
Whatever.
But I wouldn't go off to say that he's never read the Bible, but I've never heard anybody say that. Never.
I've
been to every kind of church.
Once or twice. Yeah, he was reading and he made a mistake. Yeah, I've heard somebody say stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't
once
think
or
so.
twice. I mean,
wishful thinking.
Whatever. Maybe. But But how can they go on television and talk about all these screw ups of Trump, making fun of the disabled guy, and I like people
pales in comparison.
And this movie is out, and they're not even talking about it in the news. They're not talking to the guys. They're not talking to the actors. They're not talking to the real men. They're not talking to the survivors. They're not talking to Michael Bay. When Michael Bay has Transformers out, he's all over the news. They're talking to him all the time. And CNN, they'll make stories up about it like, well, is Transformers real? And then they'll show some technology that is like, and they'll compare it to Transformers.
Right.
Michael Bay should be all over television. And they don't even want to talk to him because they want to help Hillary. This is disgusting.
I don't understand.
These guys,
disgusting.
Yeah, I was telling you before the show, a couple of weeks ago, Obama gave medals to Steven Spielberg and Gloria Estefan and James Taylor. He should be giving medals to these guys, not
That's
to
the
Gloria
least he could do. I agree. That's the least he could do.
How does Obama and Hillary live with themselves? Because they had the real-time video that, by the way, was in high definition that they were watching from that drone that was overhead during the whole thing. And how can they tell themselves that they're not responsible? And they just let these Americans
because they
die?
Don't feel anything. They, like I said, they're sociopathic behavior. They have no empathy. They don't feel anything. All she cares about is getting to the White House, and in her mind,
all she cares about. That's right.
If she gets there, she'll be redeemed. That'll be her redemption. She'll be, in her mind, she'll be this amazing president. She'll be the first female president. She'll turn the country around, and everybody will forgive her. She has to get to that point to make that happen. But like you said, if she doesn't get there, then she will always be remembered for these kinds of things. But if she can get in the White House, she can redeem herself in her mind.
Yeah. The last time I saw a movie,
the ends justifies
like
the means for her.
The last time I saw a movie like 13 Hours that had like an emotional impact was when Han Solo died in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. No, I'm kidding. When I saw,
I was going to say,
no.
I was going to say that was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh no.
And it wasn't real.
No.
Obviously.
The last time I had like an emotional reaction watching a movie like this is when I saw United 93, the feature film about Scott Beamer's flight.
Yeah, that was good.
And when I was in the theater watching that, I was like in tears because you saw what those people went through on Flight 93. I'm talking about the feature film. I saw it in the theater, and it was pretty because it's real, and 13 Hours is real. It's a documentary. Black Hawk Down, that was a long time ago, and it was a long time after the incident. The problem with this, with 13 Hours is it's ongoing. And the monster that allowed this to happen is still the president. And the little monster that did not, Hillary Clinton she's not a typical Secretary of State. She's a former First Lady, and her husband was the President of the United States. And she saw what was going on over there. I know Chris Stevens couldn't get her on the phone, but Lady Gaga and Ben Affleck can. But she could have gotten in the car, gone to the White House. If she was out of town, she could have flown to the White House and gone in there and demanded he do something.
Right, she could have just made a phone call. She just could have made a phone call.
She couldn't be. And you know what? We don't know where the hell she was. And, Hillary said she doesn't have time to see the movie. And these email dumps, she's watching House of Cards and The Good Wife. But she doesn't have time for this. All right, we'll take our break. And when we get back, there's more to share. We're talking about 13 Hours. And we're going to move on a little bit and talk about Ted Cruz and Trump and what's going on with them. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. If you're watching on Periscope, you can call us live on the show. Our number, 347-945-5112. It's in the description on Periscope, by the way. 347-945-5112 is the number to call. All right, we'll take a break and be right back.
This is Brian Craig. If you're like me, you are tired of the government being involved in every aspect of your life. Who is the government to tell you have to buy health insurance? And when you do, that you have to buy the health insurance they tell you to buy. I didn't like that. As an American, I don't want the government telling me what to do or what I have to buy. But I thought I had no choice. The Affordable Care Act is the law after all. I learned I do have a choice when I visited StopObamacareTaxNow.com. At StopObamacareTaxNow.com, I learned I don't have to pay hundreds of dollars a month in health insurance premiums for a policy with deductibles in the tens of thousands of dollars. Do what I did and go right now to StopObamacareTaxNow.com and learn how to say no to Obamacare without being fined by the government. StopObamacareTaxNow.com. If you have hearing problems, you know how precious hearing is. Wouldn't it be great to hear everything people are saying to you? If you could hear music again and not have to turn the television up louder than it needs to be. Having the right equipment makes all the difference. The Savings Mart is your one-stop shop for hearing amplifiers. The Savings Mart carry the quality brands Medca and New Ear amplifiers for seriously discounted prices. Just go to Google and search for The Savings Mart. That's all one word. The Savings Mart. Candidates, campaign managers, and activists. It's election season, and when a candidate is running for office, from the local city commission all the way to President of the United States, getting their name etched in the mind of voters is the key to victory. And the best way to do that is to cover the area with promotional materials from thecampaignedge.com. Thecampaignedge.com will provide your candidate or cause with everything you need to win, from bumper stickers to magnetic car signs, buttons, tents, flags, and much more. With the help of thecampaignedge.com, you will have your name or slogan all over town. So when voters walk into that voting booth and look at the names and issues on the ballot, they will recognize yours right away. When you order from thecampaignedge.com, use the coupon code VIP and receive a 10% discount. Go to thecampaignedge.com and start on the road to victory. Thecampaignedge.com.
I'm back!
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida.
The great story here is this vast right-wing conspiracy that has been conspiring against my husband since the day he announced for president.
Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com.
What difference at this point does it make?
And now, Brian Craig.
I'm back!
What difference does it make? I mean, can you imagine? I just can't. I cannot believe that someone could know for so long what happened and say, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Moving on to a couple other things, though. Donald Trump tweeted that he's got a major announcement tonight and a special guest. So I'm going to guess that it is an endorsement from someone. I know people are saying VP. I don't know his speech. It's in Iowa, and I'm guessing. Are you back, Kathy?
Yep, I'm here.
I guess I lost. Oh, okay,
sorry.
Yeah, it's in Iowa. It's going to be on One American News. I know that. I don't know if Fox.
Who is
and
the
the
governor of Iowa? Who's just curious.
I forgot who the governor of Iowa is. It's not going to be. It could be since he said, someone said it's rumored that
he might come out and endorse him. That's what I'm thinking.
Scott Brown? Or you mean the governor of Iowa? I don't know who the governor of Iowa is. It's an endorsement. We'll find out.
Maybe the governor of Iowa is going to come out and endorse him.
I don't know. Is it that big thing? Tonight, yeah. Tonight he's going to have a big
for
announcement.
Iowa, it might be if they have a governor they like. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, this business with Ted Cruz, is Ted Cruz like the most unlikable? I mean, I'm just shocked, because everyone liked Ted Cruz. Well, when I say everyone, I mean like conservative Trump people. We all like Ted Cruz. And watching Ted Cruz these last few days, he's like a phony. He is not really a nice guy.
Well, I think he's a typical politician. They're all alike. It just shows you they're all alike. They're no different.
Trump said that he's a nasty guy. Did you hear Trump talk about this? They played this clip.
He would know.
Donald Trump, You know, a guy called me on the radio.
But he
and says,
said he
"Why
was
is
a nice
after-"
guy before. I mean, Trump goes back and forth on that. He said he was a
wrong.
nice guy many times. Well, no, Trump goes. You have to admit, Trump does go with he goes with the wind of you know what I mean. He's not consistent with that. He'll say, "Oh, if you're with him, you're a nice guy. If you're against him, you're not a nice guy." I mean, that's how he is.
Well, I think what it is with Trump is he's very loyal. You know, if you screw him over, you're like dead to him. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. But, you know, well, before
but how
I play
did
this
Ted
clip,
Cruz screw him over?
Well, he
didn't really screw him over personally. He's just starting to beat him. That's all. That's all he did.
He's not beating him. Ted Cruz isn't beating Trump. He was catching up to him in Iowa.
In Iowa. He's in Iowa. He was leading or at least tied, and that's when Trump went after him. So it wasn't.
Trump's got to win. Trump's got to win. Yeah, someone just reminded me in the chat. Someone just reminded me in the chat about this with Rush today. I didn't hear Rush. Steve told me about it, and I was just reading an article actually before we went on the air about it. It's in Breitbart about this. Mark Levin made a Facebook post that made the news today, and warning Trump to lay off Cruz, saying that if you go over this Canadian, accuse him of being Canadian and all these things, you're going to lose a lot of conservative voters. And, you know, I used to be a big fan of Mark Levin. Mark Levin lost me about a year or two ago. Mark Levin, you know, I used to listen to him like around 2010, 2009, 2010, 2011. And then he's gotten very self-important, you know. He thinks that he controls the masses of the conservative voting bloc around the country. He believes he's a kingmaker when it comes to people who get nominated and hold elected office. And, you know, I've been in this radio for a long time. And I've seen a lot of people's egos get out of control. And Mark Levin, his ego and his idea of the amount of self-importance that Mark Levin has about himself is way out of control. It's unfortunate because I've always liked Mark Levin. I've enjoyed his show, but I don't like this idea that he's the kingmaker in his own mind. And Rush today was saying that he was backing up Mark Levin. Rush was saying that Trump's making a mistake challenging Ted Cruz. I mean, why? Why is that a mistake? Why should he not be you know, this thing with Ted Cruz, with the Canadian thing, we've been talking about it for a week. I don't think he's eligible, okay? I don't think he's eligible, and I think Ted Cruz knows it. That's why he wouldn't go to court and hasn't gone to court to settle the damn thing. He renounced his Canadian citizenship 15 months ago. So I think Ted Cruz knows it. And what Trump is saying, and if you listen to Trump, he says this every time it comes up, he says we don't want this cloud over our candidate's head on the eve of the election because it would dominate everything and we would lose. You know, so that's what this is about. It's not really about whether or not he's eligible or not. It's about it becoming an issue that the final 2 weeks or a month before the general election would consume everything, and we'd lose votes, and then we'd have this commie Bernie Sanders or Hillary Benghazi as president. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't see why it's wrong for Trump to point these things out about Ted Cruz. You know, and I looked up today, Kathy. I thought this was true, but I wasn't sure because I never thought about it before. Puerto Ricans cannot be president. If you're born in Puerto Rico, you are not considered a natural-born U.S. citizen eligible for the presidency. So if someone born in Puerto Rico cannot be the president, how could someone who's born in Canada, who had a Canadian birth certificate and Canadian citizenship, okay? Right. So I'm sorry. You know, there's too many questions about it. Ted Cruz needs to step aside. And this business with Rush and Mark Levin criticizing Trump because he dares. So this is what I talk about, why I don't want to be friends with these people. You know, you don't want to be friends with these people. The problem that Mark Levin's having here, he's friends with Ted Cruz. So because he's his friend, he's being blinded by the reality of the situation. You know, and it's more personal with him. That's why as a radio talk show host, you don't want to be friends with politicians. You might interview them, but you don't want to be friends with them because when you're friends with them, you get blinded, you know. And I don't know what the hell Rush Limbaugh is doing with this Mark Levin.
What's wrong with criticizing Ted Cruz as a jerk? Yeah, someone pointed out that
dropped out, okay, if he say in your fantasy, which is never going to happen, say in your fantasy he dropped out, where would that put Jeb? Because Jeb, say he dropped out tomorrow. Then you got, other than Trump, you got Rubio and Jeb, right? Maybe Carson. Where would that put Jeb? Because Jeb would be worse than Cruz as a president, I can tell you that right now. Jeb would love Cruz to drop out. He would love it. He is loving this.
Oh, yeah.
Cruz doing bad because
absolutely.
See, Jeb has realized, somebody in his camp told him, you got to stop going after Trump because it's not going to get you anywhere. You got to get the underlings first, because if you get rid of them, you'll move up. And
that's right.
Him and Christie have a deal. You know, you could tell at that debate they were kind of working together.
Yeah.
Christie, So maybe Jeb is seeing this with Cruz, and he might be working, well, you know what, I got to take these guys down first before I get to the top. I can't just go for the top right away. So who knows? He could be, I could see Jeb just behind the scenes and having people that work for him sending information, doing very, very sneaky things, either anonymously or through others. He's got a lot of, people in the radio business that get others to do their work for them, so it doesn't touch them. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I could see Jeb doing that. There's a lot of people loyal to him, and he's got a lot of money, and I could see him having people on the payroll saying, okay, leak this information to Trump. Let him know this is what's going on with Cruz or Rubio or this or that. And then Trump might or might not take the bait, and he might, or, he's definitely doing something because it's slipping away from him and it's getting down to the end, and he's going to get desperate. Jeb Bush.
Oh, Jeb? Oh,
because nobody likes him. Nobody likes him.
Well, we're 2 weeks away from this Iowa caucus. I really hope Trump just body slams them.
That's going to be good.
I really do. Yeah, then we could just,
It happens around the same time as the OJ movie, which I can't wait for.
Oh, I can't wait for that either. After the break,
we'll talk about
really
the
OJ movie. I saw another trailer for it today.
You said you didn't want to see it, and I knew you'd change your mind.
Yeah, it looks good.
You're like, who cares? I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I care. I'll watch it. All right, we'll be right back. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Visit our website, BrianCraigShow.com. And if you're watching us on Periscope Live, you can call us. Our number, 347-945-5112. 347-945-5112. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a way to lose weight and keep it off? Don't have time to go to the gym, or maybe going to the gym just isn't your thing? There is a better way at BarbieLoveFitness.com. BARBEE LoveFitness.com. BarbieLoveFitness.com is a live online 6-week boot camp with a certified trainer and nutrition specialist. At BarbieLoveFitness.com, you will work out in the comfort and privacy of your home or anywhere else you want, in front of your computer, tablet, or even your smartphone. And get this, you don't need any equipment. BarbieLoveFitness.com is an incredible deal, too. Not only do you have live online workouts with a personal trainer and nutrition specialist, you will receive free supplements to maximize your weight loss, a free meal plan, free e-cookbooks, and much more. You can even win prizes like a free vacation stay in Mexico, an Android tablet, and many more prizes, too. This is the weight loss fitness program you have been waiting for. All you have to do is roll out of bed. You don't even have to brush your hair or teeth, and you don't need any weights either. So what are you waiting for? Go right now to BarbieLoveFitness.com. BARBEE LoveFitness.com. Click the Programs tab, select the 6-week Bringing Sexy Back Boot Camp, and start losing weight. BarbieLoveFitness.com. Would you like to be an entrepreneur? Then join the fastest growing network marketing company in the world, and number one on the DSA Inc. 500 list, hitting $1 billion in worldwide revenue in 2015. At just 6 years old, we are the world leader in anti-aging supplements, developed from Nobel Prize research. In anti-aging skincare containing adult stem cell technology, the only skincare in the world with adult stem cell growth factors, and patented exclusively to Jeunesse Global. We also have a weight management system, of which the developer was nominated for a Nobel Prize in Science. The anti-aging industry is poised to explode, and our products are in huge demand worldwide. Contact Sadat at sadat.skh@gmail.com or visit sadatali.jeunessglobal.com.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, and you can listen to this program. Go to our website, briancraigshow.com. All the ways to listen to the show are listed there, but all of our past episodes are on iTunes. So if you go to iTunes, search for The Brian Craig Show, and our about 400 shows will come up right there on iTunes. Check them out. We're in other places, too, which are listed at briancraigshow.com. Before we move on, someone in the chat room, they keep saying this over and over. They said, you and Steve were on Jeb's payroll before Trump. Jeb is not the same person he used to be. He's changed. He used to be a good guy. He used to be very conservative, and he's not the same. He's not the same person.
Changed. He's pandering. He's pandering to the left.
He has not been governor for a long time, and he's just, people change. That's all I can say about it.
Just like Trump.
If Jeb
Trump changed too.
Yeah, that's right. Except Trump's changed for the better, and
that's right.
Jeb's changed for the worse. Steve just called me up. He wanted me to remind him to bring this up on the air about the Oscars. Jada Pinkett Smith believes that her husband not being nominated means that the Oscars are racist. I didn't see the Will Smith movie, and I don't go to the movies that much. It might seem like it's about 13 hours and things. I don't go to the movies that much.
Well, it's not just that. There's no people of color, and Spike Lee said the Academy Awards are lily white.
Oh, well, that happens.
But, somebody
sometimes.
made a good point. Somebody in the chat you were talking about on the show, and somebody said in the chat, well, when was the last time a white guy was nominated for a BET award?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Listen, they're just, the Oscars is very political. The nominations come through because people vote for their friends. You know what I mean? So what this tells me is that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith don't have a lot of friends in Hollywood, that they're rude and nasty to people, and that's why he didn't get nominated. People vote for their friends.
Well, what do you think will happen next year?
Oh, they'll have a black person probably win the damn thing. I mean, a black guy won it last year. Didn't the guy from Selma get nominated, and then the guy from 12 Years a Slave won a couple years ago?
Yeah, many in the last few years. So 1 year it just happens and freaking out.
I don't know. I don't really follow the nominations. I'm not into the Oscars. I used to be. Kathy and I used to really be into the Oscars. We would do our picks. We saw all the movies. We watched the regular.
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
I guess as you get older, you lose. You lose interest as you get older. I guess.
Because you have your own real life to deal with.
Exactly.
You grow up.
Yeah.
You grow up.
Exactly. The only thing that I would be excited. I would watch the red carpet. It's not the same without Joan Rivers. But I would watch the red carpet if the police would have drug-sniffing dogs on the red carpet, sniffing out all the coke
would be interesting.
For the actors and actresses. That I would watch.
Yes, that would be good.
But, I don't know who all is nominated. I didn't see this Will Smith football movie, but I haven't heard too much about it. So, it doesn't seem to be a movie that's all that groundbreaking or a stretch. I haven't heard people talk about it at all. But,
no.
So what? He didn't get nominated. Certain people, Jada Pinkett. I remember when Cuba Gooding was nominated for Jerry Maguire, and he won. And I remember I was watching the red carpet with Joan Rivers, and Jada Pinkett, she walked up, and Joan Rivers said to her, "Who's your pick?" And she said, "Let the brother win. Let the brother win." So just because
she's a racist.
He's black, he should win.
She's a racist.
It went to the best actor. It just, come on, Yeah, but as I said, people vote for and nominate their friends. So if he didn't get nominated, that means they don't like them. All these award ceremonies are fixed by Hollywood. It's very, very political. Just because do you really think the best actors and actresses are the people that are in the world are the ones nominated? Are you kidding?
No.
You and I watched The Martian with Matt Damon the other night on demand. And, the movie was okay. It wasn't that great. And he was basically himself in it. He won a Golden Globe. Did he get an Oscar
Yeah,
nomination?
he was basically himself. I mean, there was no drama. There was no stretch of acting here at all. It was ridiculous.
No. And they had this scene where he lost a lot of weight because he didn't have food on Mars. They had a skinny body double playing him. You know, I mean, I remember when Robert De Niro was in The Untouchables, he gained that weight. He's gained weight and lost weight for parts. You know what I mean? This guy, he gets I don't see why Matt Damon really is in the caliber of best actor in all of Hollywood. Are you kidding me? You know, I mean, you know, give me a break. The best actors. So Jada Pinkett, you know, she should be very happy. She's on a hit television show, Gotham. Her husband is a very overpaid actor because he's pretty much. I think Will Smith is rather mediocre.
I think they're reeling because he's been left out of the sequel to Independence Day, and they killed off his character, which he was pissed about. And I think they're just his character's dead. Yes. And I read an article in there. He's very upset, and I think they're reeling. He died in combat or something. He's not in the movie. They just mention him. I mean, these two are Scientologist swingers. I mean, these are immoral people, like all of Hollywood. I mean, who cares? I mean, and just because their husbands get nominated, they're all racist. It's ridiculous. They're multimillionaires.
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett have
both
so much
overrated
freaking money. They're so connected. You know, like when they did that remake for the Karate Kid that their kid was in, you really think out of all of the child actors in Hollywood and in the world that it just so happened that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's son just happened to be the best actor in all of Hollywood.
They said that he auditioned. He auditioned for everybody, everybody else, and he got picked because he was the best.
Just like Tori Spelling for 90210, right? She just auditioned. They had no idea she was there. I mean, you know, give me a freaking break. You know, they have all kinds of. They're all obsessed with the white privilege and all, but you know they have all this privilege in spite of their anger. I will say though, Jada Pinkett's a pretty good actress. I think she's pretty good.
I don't think they're going to be getting a lot of work from now on. Well, I think she kind of screwed the pooch on this.
Yeah, the arrogance. I remember when they had that Sony email scandal, and one of the emails was about Angelina Jolie wanting to remake Cleopatra, and the executives were laughing at her, you know, of what she wanted to do. Jada Pinkett's an idiot. I mean, you know, she's in Gotham, and she has a starring role in it, and that's a big show. And her husband's still making millions of dollars a movie, and they're still victims. So if Jada Pinkett and Will Smith think they're victims of racism, how are we going to get through to these gangbangers in Ferguson? I mean,
I know.
They spend more money on their lawn service than probably most Americans make in 10 years. You know what I mean? They're lawn guys. I mean, they spend so much freaking money, and they're still victims of racism. So it's really it's a mental illness. You know, they see everything through this prism of race. Everything, you know what they're like? They're like that idiot Joe from Hollywood. Everything with them is a racial slight. Well, you know, he didn't get nominated because he's black. Maybe his performance wasn't as good as some of the other ones. Maybe these other people, you know, these nominations, they run ads in the trade magazines and everything. Maybe these other people networked better.
Well, she's mad because nobody was nominated that's black. Nobody.
Well, part of the problem, when you have like a big black, what's considered a great black performance, it's in a movie that's so ethnic and black, like Selma, or one of the Spike Lee movies, you know. And
usually,
you need to have a movie that is after a more diverse audience. You know what I mean? You know, Spike Lee sometimes. You know, Spike Lee, like that. There's that one movie. What's that bank robbery movie that he did? That I watch it all the time when it's on TV. The one with Jodie Foster that Spike Lee did.
Inside Man.
Oh, Inside. I love that movie. I've probably seen it 30 times. Every time it's on TV, I'll watch it. You know, Spike Lee cast Clive Owen, a white guy, as the star of that movie. Denzel was the co-star, but you know, his movies aren't just black. You know what I mean? He doesn't just do black movies. And you know, Jada Pinkett. You know, when you look at the Hollywood, liberal Hollywood is racist in a way. A guy only gets nominated if he plays a slave. You know what I mean? Like Hattie McDaniel, the 12 Years a Slave. Listen, we're going to take a break. And when we get back, there's more to share, all right? You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Don't forget to visit our website, briancraigshow.com.
Are you looking for answers for your life's questions? Questions about your love life, finances. Maybe you're about to make a major career change. Find those answers with Psychic Saris. Psychic Saris has a passion. Her passion is to be your spiritual advisor, medium and psychic. She's a 7th-generation clairvoyant and professional tarot card reader with over 20 years of experience. You can reach Psychic Saris by phone, 1-800-227-5669, extension 895-236. 800-227-5669, extension 895-236. When you communicate with Psychic Saris, she receives visions of what to do about your situation. She will share with you what she is being shown or told. No problem is too big or too small for Psychic Saris. She will help you find solutions and encourage you to use your God. Call Psychic Saris right now, 800-227-5669, extension 895-236, 800-227-5669, extension 895-236, and find the answers you are looking for. 800-227-5669, extension 895-236. Since the beginning of time, gold has been the currency of the world. Gold is the only money that has never failed in the 5,000-year history of its use as currency. That's because gold holds its value. Gold is true money and will always be the backbone of the world's financial system. Gold is a great hedge against economic and geopolitical uncertainties that make paper money unreliable. Don't save paper dollars, save gold by visiting goldmarketaffiliate.com. With goldmarketaffiliate.com, you can also create a weekly residual income stream by sharing with people the benefits of gold and goldmarketaffiliate.com. Paper money has no real value, but gold does. Take charge of your future right now and go to goldmarketaffiliate.com and exchange your paper money for real money, gold. goldmarketaffiliate.com.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, always joined by Kathy, my wife and co-host. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Did you hear this stuff about England and Parliament? They're debating banning Trump from England, which is,
whatever.
Yeah, all right, ban the president. And, you know what's going on about that? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. England, we talk about this from time to time, is like a Muslim country now, especially in London, you know what I mean? There's a lot of Muslims there.
Yeah, and they're very atheist, too.
That's right. And a lot of these members of Parliament have a lot of constituents that are Muslim. And it really shows you the power of Muslims in England. That they can put pressure on members of Parliament to even talk about such a stupid thing publicly. That's what that's all about. I would guess. I think that's what it would be. You know, it's a little, I don't know. Who cares? Let them ban the president of the United States, Donald Trump.
That's ridiculous.
From England. I mean, does the president need to ever go to England? Because
the liberals think if they're nice to people who want to kill you, they'll change their mind.
Yeah. There is, listen, England needs us. We don't need England. If England disappeared from the planet today, the only way that I would feel it is if I needed to buy a new pair of Doc Martens. You know what I mean? I mean, that's about it. Mm-hmm. I got a pair of Doc Martens that I used to have a few pairs, but I got a pair of Doc Marten shoes that I got actually the first Christmas we were married, and they look almost brand new still. I wear them sometimes still. But I wouldn't be able to get any new Doc Martens. Or maybe I could buy them on the black market. But other than that, so who cares about England? You know, I mean, for them to debate this, I mean, it's amazing. And I saw someone in the chat, the left, they're so desperate with Trump. They're trying to make a big deal about him saying 2 Corinthians. So what? So we said 2 instead of 2 Corinthians. I'm watching this on CNN.
I've never heard anybody say that, ever.
Whatever. So all of a sudden, the godless liberals that are taking the Bible out, they've taken the Bible out of public schools. They've taken the 10 Commandments out of every public building they can find. A teacher in a public school cannot even say God bless you when a student sneezes. And now all of a sudden, the Bible has been disrespected by Mr. Trump, and we cannot permit this to go unanswered for. Because he said two instead of second, they're acting as if he took the Lord's name in vain and then burned the Bible at Liberty University. I've never seen the reaction is so, but it really shows how desperate.
Well, it is weird that he said it at Liberty, and to me, when I heard that, I didn't take it as a disrespect. I took it as I think it's weird. I'm sure he has heard somebody read the Bible to him. He cannot be. I think it's odd. I mean, I take it as somebody would say that who's never been exposed to the Bible would look at that and say 2 Corinthians. Maybe that's the way his father said it. Maybe somebody in his family said it that way, and that's how he's always said it. I mean, the media makes a big deal out of everything.
Exactly. So maybe he misspoke. I mean, here you got Obama going to this.
They're more outraged over that than Hillary and Benghazi.
Yep. Oh, he said 2 instead of second. We've got to, Christians deserve the respect of the president, not this disrespect. I mean, that's how they're acting.
All of a sudden, that's hilarious.
I didn't see any negative reaction from the people at Liberty University.
No.
Have you? I don't know if they were upset about it, but they're the left is just with this disrespect of the Bible. This is a flub we cannot. Really, I mean, give me a break. Here you got Hillary Clinton who covers up for a rapist, but he said 2 instead of second, and I mean, give me a freaking break. People are so tired of both of these parties.
They are.
They're just tired of it.
Yeah, they are. That's why Trump's doing so well from both sides. They're just sick of it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Donald Trump and
we'll
First
see what
Lady
happens.
Melania.
It's the end of the year. I mean, I can't wait for the primaries to start happening. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting.
If he doesn't win the Iowa primary, if he comes in second place, the liberals are going to have look, he's in second place. He's not a winner anymore. What are we going to, they're going to be so excited. But if Hillary comes in third place, they'll still be behind her and say, well, these caucus goers in Iowa, they do things. It doesn't really mean much. It doesn't, if Donald Trump comes in second place, it'll be over. If Hillary comes in third place, which is last place, because there's only 3 of them, this is really decided in New Hampshire. I tell you, when people are consumed with hate, hate is really, it's intoxifying. It's like you're drunk. You don't think clearly, and when you're consumed with hate, you say things you don't even that are just so stupid and ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like being drunk, and the left and the right are so consumed with their hate of Trump they can't even see straight. And Nick in the chat said if Trump doesn't win, he'll never vote again. If the Republicans steal the nomination for Trump, I'm done with him. And I really hate to say that because I plan on being on the radio after that, and I'll be, people will forever be reminding me. Somebody could come up through the ranks, I guess, in the future, but if they screw Trump over, they're screwing us over.
I agree.
What was that thing you heard them ask Jeb when Jeb was talking about stupid, and then somebody had asked him at the debate, are you saying that the millions that are supporting Mr. Trump are stupid? What was that? You were telling me about that exchange.
He said something about, they were talking about the Muslim thing, and then when Trump made that statement about banning Muslims, and then Trump said that's lunacy, and Maria Bartiromo mentioned this, and she said, you said when Trump said that it was lunacy, and Jeb says, yes, it is. She said, well, 73% of Americans agree with Mr. Trump, so are you calling them lunatics? Oh, no.
Oh,
I mean, he's an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
He's an idiot, Jeb Bush.
He
doesn't know which end is up.
Yeah. Jeb is sad. He's like Jada Pinkett.
Sad.
He's got everything in the world, and he's miserable. I mean, Jeb
he's got nothing else to do.
Jeb will never have to worry about paying a bill or having enough money to fill his tank with gas. Like many Americans.
Well, I think he honestly, and I think he came into this thinking he would just walk right into the White House. I don't think he thought he'd have to work for it, and I think he came in very weak and took things for granted right away. I don't think he would have had a chance in hell anyway, but I think right off the bat he just didn't do anything and didn't work very hard and just kind of sat back and figured, well, this is all going to just fall in my lap. And I still think he feels that way because he still says, I'm going to win. I'm going to surprise everybody. I'm going to be the winner. It's amazing to me how delusional he really thinks people are going to just, when they go in the voting booth, they're going to be like, you know what? I just can't pull the trigger for Trump. I just can't pull that lever for him or whatever. I got to vote for Jeb. Even though there's no, there's other guys there ahead of him that people like too. I mean, he's totally deluded.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, I dropped the iPad. So. I was blocking someone whose name was Sad Something Penis. I didn't see the middle word, and I moved the iPad. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean,
that's funny.
There are so many sad perverts. There are so many men on the internet who
are perverts.
The women of the world. Yeah, the women of the world have decided that they are going to be celibate. And so what they do is they spend all their days and nights online, doing these weird things. I mean, Sad Clown Penis was his name. Sad Clown Penis. What the hell does that mean?
That's funny. I don't know.
I mean, what's the guy that says he has a sad penis? I don't know. Remember when Kelsey Grammer's ex-wife said that he had a small penis? Remember that?
Yes. Well, women always just say that. Just they think they can get at a guy for saying something like that.
Oh my gosh! Well, listen, we're going to watch Trump. I don't know if Trump's going to be on at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, but he said he has a major announcement tonight.
We got to watch him for sure.
Absolutely, we'll turn on One American News because I know they'll cover it. I don't know about Fox with their news blackout.
Oh God, no.
They don't want to preempt Kelly. My gosh. Oh, by the way, Glenn Fry died. How many celebrities have died? Glenn Fry died today.
A lot. A lot have died.
We've had David Bowie, Glenn Fry, Celine Dion's creepy husband. Alan Rickman. When I saw 13 Hours today, he's got a new movie coming out. Alan Rickman. Who else has died? That's 4. Is that it? Am I leaving someone out? I mean, Dan Haggerty, Grizzly Adams. People, they wait through Christmas, and then after Christmas they say goodbye. I guess it's kind of sad.
What happened to that girl on One American News, that really pretty blonde girl? What happened to her?
The blonde on One American News, she went to work for Glenn Beck at the Blaze.
You're joking.
No. She's out of her mind.
Is she still there? That was a stupid thing to do.
I don't know.
She had her own show, and here she was a rising star, and all this is happening with the election, and she went off with him. What a mistake.
Jeff Probst from Survivor. Right, he's big now, right? He's been big for a long time. He started out on E, and I remember when E was new. Jeff Probst was on E when E first went on television, and they had no programming. All E did, E Entertainment Television, they showed movie trailers all day.
Yeah.
And they would actually, Jeff Probst, they were like VJs. They would introduce movie trailers. And people could actually dedicate, like you could dedicate a song you could call in and dedicate a movie trailer to someone, and that's what Jeff Probst.
That's
and
weird.
Look at E now, and look at and One American News is eventually going to be huge. It's going to put Fox in the second place eventually, and because it's the real news, and for that girl to leave One American News, I will say though. The people they have on there are very young and inexperienced, and they have a very low budget because we saw one kid on there yesterday.
I think they work for free.
Yeah, they look like they're. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me. I'm embarrassed to say I went to broadcasting school. So no, don't go to broadcasting school. They're all ripoffs. Okay, but they're all ripoffs. Every broadcasting school is a ripoff. But you just learn how to be a board op. Very few people get real jobs out of broadcasting school. Don't go to broadcasting. But it reminds me in broadcasting schools what it looked. We saw this one guy on there yesterday. He had a suit that looked like he was wearing his dad's suit. It didn't fit. He's on TV. It's about 3 sizes too big. But if you're on One American News, you should stay there. I wouldn't leave for the losing Blaze that's going down the tubes.
No, I mean, what is she doing on the Blaze too?
She's the one that's like the boyfriend is the Navy SEAL.
I know, but what is she doing on the Blaze? What does she do?
I guess she does a show on the Blaze. Probably does the same show on the Blaze that she did on One American News. Now she's stupid because the Blaze, One American News is going to be big one day, just like E with the Jeff Probst introducing movie trailer. It's going to be big, and she'd be like the big shot over there. But she went to work for Beck at the Blaze.
I didn't like her. I thought she talked way too fast, and she was very immature. I thought she was very. She was just beautiful. I don't know. She was just conservative and very pretty and young.
Tommy.
But she
Tommy
talked
Lahren.
so fast. Yeah, I couldn't understand a word she said.
She talked too fast, and the background, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like the background for Superman when he's flying. They got like the city flying around. You know what I mean? They'll put like the guy laying on the table on his belly. And it's some of the background, but it's new and it's low budget. Fox News Channel was on television for years before it became big. It was on for years and years. It wasn't on very many cable outlets, and it wasn't big. And Bill O'Reilly was there, and it wasn't big. It
got big
people
with
didn't
him.
watch it. It got big. You know when it got big? It got big after the 2000 recount is when it got big around that time. Well, listen, we're all out of time, so we're going to go turn on One American News and wait for Trump's big announcement. I hope it's something good because when they say a big announcement, it's like they're setting you up to be, let down and disappointed. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Visit our website, briancraigshow.com. And, of course, you can listen to this program on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, the TuneIn Radio app as well. Just go to any of those apps and search for The Brian Craig Show. Also, follow us on Periscope if you're watching, and follow us on Twitter as well, at Brian Craig Show. All right, take care, everyone. We'll be back later this week with a brand new show.
I want to share with you a new song from talented artist, rapper, and songwriter Young Marcus. This is a song with a real story behind it. Here is Breakaway from Young Marcus.
Young Marcus Production. Breakaway.
What are they saying?
Trying to be saved, but I can't be saved. Trying to be saved, got me feeling depraved. Trying to be saved, got me feeling enslaved. Trying to be saved, got me chasing the fame. Trying to be saved, got me floating away, up and away, so I hide away. Feeling cast away in the midst, I'm astray. It's a trap, no escape, I gotta break away. I've been searching on excursions, I've been hurting, metaphorically disturbing. I can't seem to find a cure to miss. I'm saying I'm uncertain, maybe even introverting. Close the curtain, start my searching. Cause I'm trying to find my purpose on this earth. I can't seem to find a reason for believing. I'm just seeing how deceiving that this world is. Let's believe it, we can see it, you can't see it. It's a secret, so strategic. Complicated like a thesis, got me searching for these pieces. Finding Jesus, leave me speeches. Parting seats like Yokonesis. Lay awake, I'm feeling sleepless. Solve the puzzle, I'm a genius, just a keys. In the darkness, can't perceive it. In the darkness, can't receive it. Need the daylight to retrieve it. If you find it, better keep it. Yes, I mean it. Trust it and believe 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 it. Trying to be saved, but I can't be saved. Trying to be saved, got me feeling depraved. Trying to be saved, now I'm feeling enslaved. Trying to be saved, got me chasing the fame. Trying to be saved, got me floating away, up and away, so I hide away. Feeling cast away in the midst, I'm astray. It's a trap, no escape, better break away. Better break away. Better break away. Better break away. If I break away, I can never be saved. Gotta think, gotta pray. On my knees, feel afraid, like a world need for save. Leave me breathless and betrayed if I ever walk away. About to build a blockade so the evil can't invade. Where the darkness is conveyed, touch your wind, feel that wave. Pitting against the wall, throw a hand grenade. Blast away the pain, feeling drained. It's okay, just sustain your domain. Never let the evil in, it's insane. Got me thinking about money and the fame. Obsessing over objects to obtain, feel constrained. Fame, drugs, money, cast away. Love, life, people every day. Fame, drugs, money, cast away. Love, life, people every day. Got you stuck in a gaze, feeling blazed. Now you think about life different ways. Just a rapper, started rapping recently. Been a month now, I'm working full days. Feel that rhythm him around USA. Spread the word all the way to Uruguay. Take a break, slip away to the ocean where the sun shine all day. Get away with my girl, run away. Talk about my girl, man, I ain't got one. Yes, I'm trying to be real, now I speak the truth, son. Never find my girl, well, she got to be blonde. Take her out to dinner, go above and beyond. She gonna respawn when it hits dawn. Wave the magic wand, lay your hands on. Now we turn on, let her come upon. Now we making love to my newly made song. Loving life just begun. Loving life just begun. Loving life just begun. Break away, my son. Break away, my son. Break away, my son.
That was Young Marcus performing his new song, Breakaway. Breakaway will be available starting January 15th on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and many, many more music stores. You can find Young Marcus's other songs right now free on SoundCloud. Just go to SoundCloud and search for Young Marcus. Also look for Young Marcus on Facebook and Twitter. And January 15th, it's Young Marcus's new single, Breakaway, available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all the other music stores.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Today, Bridget Griffin shared a video of her daily yoga routine, 2 self-help articles, and her new blog called Build Your Inner Bridge with Bridge. Girl, your sharing has turned into oversharing. No worries, Bridge. Geico has some info worth sharing with your 7 blog followers, like how you could save money on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim just by visiting geico.com. How's that for building your inner bridge? Bridge? Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.